Hello everyone, welcome back to our channel. Today's topic is external carotid artery. So we are doing the head and neck classes. In the head and neck classes, in the last class we have seen the carotid triangle. So continuation of this, we will see the external carotid artery. Those who have not subscribed to the channel, subscribe now so that you will receive the continuation of the head and neck classes, histology, embryology, practical exam preparation. In our channel, we have added a new playlist called Important Anatomy in 50 Videos. If you go through the 50 videos, you will be able to cover 60 to 70% of the university exam questions. So do subscribe now. Keep watching the videos. Now we will move on to the external carotid artery. In this class, we will cover a part of this external carotid artery as it is a big topic. If you see in the head and neck region, only this artery is an important artery for your exam. If you see in the upper limb and lower limb, so many arteries you should have read. Axillary artery starting from brachial artery, radial artery, ulnar artery, femoral artery, dorsalis pedis artery. But in the head and neck region, this is considered to be an important artery for the theory question. So now we will see this topic in detail and a part of this in this class, and we will continue with the next classes also. So carotid system of arteries. What are the carotid system of arteries? Include common carotid, internal carotid and external carotid. Do you know the meaning of carotid? Carotid means sleep, heavy sleep. So it's a Greek word and meaning heavy sleep. So from the old times, they have known that compression of this carotid artery causes deep sleep or coma. So from that, this word was derived. So now we will see the external carotid artery under the following headings as usual for other arteries: origin, extent, termination, course, relations, and branches. As this is an important topic, branches for the branches also we will see. So first we will start with the origin of external carotid artery. External carotid is a branch of common carotid artery. So this is the common carotid artery. Common carotid artery divides into external carotid and internal carotid. It is one of the terminal branches of the common carotid artery. Extent extends from the level of upper border of the lamina of thyroid cartilage to a point behind the neck of the mandible. Upper border of the lamina of the thyroid cartilage corresponds to what vertebral level? We have seen in the carotid triangle. You should refresh. This corresponds to the disc between the C3 and C4 vertebra. So this is the thyroid cartilage and this is the cricoid cartilage. So this is the upper border of thyroid cartilage. So that is the bifurcation level of the common carotid artery. In most of the cases, in some cases, the bifurcation may be at a higher level or slightly at a lower level. So from the level of the upper margin of thyroid cartilage to the parotid gland. So to the parotid gland, inside the parotid gland, if you want to tell exact landmark where it divides or terminates, so this is the mandible, neck of mandible, a point behind the neck of the mandible. So it is a structure inside the parotid gland. You should have learnt in the parotid gland, three structures are inside the parotid gland from superficial to deep. Do you remember? Facial nerve, formation of retromandibular vein, and external carotid artery, deep structure inside the parotid gland. So its termination is inside the parotid gland at a point behind the neck of the mandible. So this corresponds to the vertebral level C3 and C4. So this is the bifurcation of common carotid artery. This is the dissected image in our department. So this is the thyroid cartilage showing the two lamina. This is one lamina of thyroid cartilage and this is the lobe of thyroid gland and this is the common carotid artery. It will terminate at the upper border of thyroid cartilage. It divides within the substance of the parotid gland. What are the terminal branches? Superficial temporal and maxillary artery. So these are the two terminal branches of external carotid artery. So again, this is the, so this video, in this video I have shown the dissection of external carotid artery and its branches also for you to understand. So this is the external carotid artery and this is the parotid gland. So the substance of the parotid gland has been dissected and facial nerve and retromandibular vein have been removed to show the external carotid artery inside the parotid gland. So it divides into terminal branches here. So what is the relation of internal carotid artery and external carotid artery at the bifurcation? This we have learnt also in the carotid triangle. At the origin, the external carotid artery lies anteromedial and internal carotid artery lies posterolateral. So this, what is this relation? How it is caused also we have seen in the carotid triangle. So this external carotid artery develops from the third aortic arch and this internal carotid artery is the continuation of dorsal aorta. That's why it is slightly posterior, dorsal posterior. And this is the sprout or growth from the third aortic arch. Do you see this nerve? It is given in this picture. Yellow nerve. This nerve is the hypoglossal nerve. It will cross both the arteries, internal and external carotid arteries in the carotid triangle. Course of now external carotid artery. Course of external carotid artery. As the artery ascends, it passes deep to the posterior belly of digastric and stylohyoid muscle. So this is the posterior belly of digastric and this is the stylohyoid muscle together. So this is passing, this is the external carotid artery and this is the internal carotid artery. This artery is entering the parotid gland, passing deep to the posterior belly of digastric and stylohyoid muscle. So this is course and inside the parotid gland. Relations, superficial relation. In the carotid triangle, it will be overlapped by the sternomastoid and crossed by hypoglossal nerve. Are you seeing this is the hypoglossal nerve dissected? So this is thick nerve, hypoglossal nerve. Yes, that is the hypoglossal nerve. So that is one superficial. So this is one superficial relation of external carotid artery. And the other we have told it passes deep. So this will be the other superficial relation. What is that muscle? Posterior belly of digastric and stylohyoid muscles. So these two are the superficial relations in the neck. In the parotid gland, within the parotid gland, two structures are superficial to the external carotid artery. They are the retromandibular vein and facial nerve and its branches. So this is again to show the course of external carotid artery. So in this, before that you try to see the muscles. So this is the cut end of the digastric and this is the styloglossus muscle and this is the stylohyoid muscle. So this is posterior belly of digastric is cut. So this is the hyoglossus, genioglossus, constrictor muscles. From the hyoid bone, this is the middle constrictor. From the thyroid cartilage and the cricoid cartilage, this will be the inferior constrictor muscles. So this is the external carotid artery. So this is the common carotid artery, divides at the upper level of upper border of thyroid cartilage. So this is the external carotid artery. We have not shown the internal carotid artery in this picture. So it passes deep to the posterior belly of digastric and stylohyoid muscle. So it is given in dotted lines. And this is the parotid gland, enters the parotid gland. So crossed by the hypoglossal nerve and posterior belly of digastric. So can you see the deep relations in this picture? What will be the deep relations will be the resting on the constrictor muscles. So we have covered the superficial relations. Now we will see the deep relations. Deep relations constrictor muscles of the pharynx, superior laryngeal nerve and its two branches, internal and external laryngeal nerves, internal carotid artery. So separated by the when this external carotid artery and internal carotid artery are uh, coursing above, this external carotid artery enters the parotid gland. Internal carotid artery will enter the carotid canal. So at that juncture, it will be separated by the styloid process and its attached muscles. So now we have completed the origin, course, relations, termination. Now we will see the branches. Branches of external carotid artery. External carotid artery altogether gives 8 branches. 5 branches in the carotid triangle, which we have seen in the last class, and one branch in the digastric triangle, and 2 terminal branches. What are the 5 branches in the carotid triangle? We have learned ascending pharyngeal, superior thyroid, lingual, facial, and occipital. This posterior auricular is given in the digastric triangle. So this external carotid artery, when before it enters the parotid gland, it runs in the posterior part of the digastric triangle. At that place, it is giving the posterior auricular artery. Two terminal branches, superficial, temporal, and maxillary. That is one way of naming the branches. Other way of naming the branches is how it arises from external carotid artery. 1 from medial side, that is ascending pharyngeal. 3 from the front of the artery, superior thyroid, lingual, and facial. 2 from behind, occipital and posterior auricular. 2 terminal, they are the superficial, temporal, and maxillary. So this is the diagram to show the course and also the branches, how it arises from the external carotid artery. So this is external carotid artery passing deep to the posterior belly of digastric and stylohyoid muscles. And this is the origin, upper edge of thyroid cartilage. This is the common carotid artery. So this is the terminal branches. And this side is medial and this side is lateral. This is anterior and posterior, diagrammatic. So one medial branch, this is the ascending pharyngeal. And 3 anterior branches, superior thyroid, lingual, facial. 2 posterior branches, occipital and posterior auricular. 2 terminal branches, maxillary and superficial temporal. So in this class, we will cover 2 arteries, ascending pharyngeal artery and the superior thyroid artery. The remaining arteries we will see in the next class. To start with, first branch, it is the smallest branch, that is the ascending pharyngeal, arises from the medial side of external carotid artery. So this is one variation, but to show the ascending pharyngeal, and you can nicely see this is the hypoglossal nerve, and this is submandibular gland, and this is the posterior belly of digastric, and this is the cornu of the hyoid bone. So you can see this is the high bifurcation of common carotid artery. This is external carotid and internal carotid. At the bifurcation, 2 branches are given, and this is the ascending pharyngeal, and this is the going posteriorly occipital. So this is how this one variation. But to show the ascending pharyngeal artery, I have shown this picture. So this ascending pharyngeal artery ascends to the base of the skull between the internal carotid artery and the wall of the pharynx. So that is why it is called ascending to the pharynx. Branches. So it will supply the pharynx, not only pharynx, palatine tonsil, part of the auditory tube, and soft palate. Inferior tympanic branch, that is to the tympanic cavity. Meningeal branches, foramen lacerum, that will pass through foramen lacerum, jugular foramen, and hypoglossal canal. So this completes the ascending pharyngeal artery. Now we will see the superior thyroid artery. It usually arises from the front of the external carotid artery. So these 3 branches from the front of external carotid artery we will tell in relation to the tip of the greater cornu of hyoid bone. One artery will be below and the other artery will be at the level of greater cornu, and the other artery will be the above the level of greater cornu. So this is the first artery below the level of tip of greater cornu of hyoid bone. So this is the superior thyroid artery. So it is courses downwards, you can easily understand. So it is resting on which muscle? Inferior constrictor muscle, coursing downwards and forwards. Here you will be having the external laryngeal nerve, posteromedial to it. So that is the superior thyroid artery. In this picture also we have one variation. So this is the superior laryngeal artery which pierces the thyroid membrane. But the superior laryngeal artery normally is the branch of superior thyroid artery. In this it is arising from external carotid artery. And this is the second front artery, that is the lingual artery. So this is superior thyroid artery coursing downwards and forwards, accompanied by the external laryngeal nerve posteromedial to it to reach the lobe of the thyroid gland. The artery rests on the inferior constrictor muscle and passes deep to the omohyoid, sternohyoid and sternothyroid muscles. Termination reaches the upper pole of lateral lobe of thyroid gland, where it lies superficial to the gland and divides into terminal branches. So this is the external carotid artery and this is the superior thyroid artery coursing downwards to the lobe of thyroid gland. So its origin is below the tip of greater cornu of hyoid bone. So branches will be to the hyoid, infrahyoid. So below the hyoid, infrahyoid, superior laryngeal artery. That artery only we have seen in the last picture. It is arising from superior thyroid. It is arising from external carotid artery instead of superior thyroid. So normally it is a branch of superior thyroid artery. So that is the superior laryngeal artery, cricothyroid branch and glandular branches. That will be the anterior and posterior, which will be running in relation to each lobe of the thyroid gland. So these are the branches of the superior thyroid artery. So the remaining branches we will see in the next video. In this class we have seen elaborately about the external carotid artery, origin, course, termination, relations, branches, and in the branches we have seen two branches, ascending pharyngeal artery and superior thyroid artery. So do subscribe now, keep watching the continuation of the classes.